Hi guys, we're back with another video series question. This time we're dealing with a question that people ask us very often at public events, but students ask us this question in class as well. The question is, can we learn graphology using books, or actually in today's times can we learn it through social media memes, because there are so many pages on Facebook and Instagram that are putting up memes describing what a particular alphabet means if it's written a certain way. So can we learn graphology sitting at home using a book or using online material or using social media memes? So we're going to address that today. Let me start by presenting two scenarios for you. In scenario one, you are somebody who is training in a classroom under the supervision of a proper teacher. And in scenario two, you are somebody who is sitting at home curious about the subject, and you're exploring the subject through books or through videos or through memes or any other kind of online material. Now, what would happen in these two scenarios when you read that kind of content is very different. So first of all, let me tell you that when we are analyzing handwriting, we are looking at multiple aspects and doing a lot of calculation. It's a lot of plus minus. It's all about the combinations, right? It's all about the combination game, and that requires practical training. But if I study something or try to study something out of a book, then it becomes pretty theoretical and the interpretation presented in the book or in the meme is limited. Take a look at this meme, for example. It's right out of a book that you might find out there in the market, right? Now this meme is actually talking about a particular kind of F. It says that if you write the F this way, then you're opinionated, you are abrupt, you are practical, all of which is quite inaccurate, let me tell you, because there are other interpretations and meanings that are associated to writing the F this way too, which have not been covered in the book. For example, writing the F this way can also mean that you're a great executioner, but that's not mentioned in the book. Now what could happen if you are sitting at home and looking at this, and let's say that's the kind of F that you write, because people tend to do this very often. They will look up the meaning of the alphabet that is existing in their handwriting and they want to know what that means. So very often you may search for something like this and look at the meaning and get a little confused and also have it stuck in your head because, oh my god, that's what the book is saying. Now if you are somebody who's training in a classroom, you might be able to spot that discrepancy and think that, yeah, but this F also means good execution and it's not mentioned here in the book. So what happens when you go through classroom training is you are also being provided with a proper filter in your head as to what is the right kind of material and what does it need to be combined with. If I want to make a reading about a person that says that they are practical or they are opinionated, I will need to see that in 4 or 5 other elements of the handwriting to make it an accurate reading about the person. I cannot look at just one element and say that, oh, because somebody writes the F this way, they are opinionated. That's not true at all about the person. You have to see a lot of other elements in the handwriting. Many factors go into that, right? So first of all, that is the difference in the scenario. Second of all, any interpretation that you find in a book will be subject to cultural context, which means that people write alphabets differently in different countries. You know, the best example being, think of the way capital I is written in India. It's kind of like the Roman I, versus the way people write a capital I in maybe Europe or the US. They're taught to write very differently in school itself, which is why the handwriting often looks very different. It will always evolve over a period of time and as we grow older, but the script is a bit different and it is changing as per cultural context. So if you look at the interpretation in any book, you will find an interpretation that is more suited to the cultural context of the place that the writer is coming from. It may not necessarily be true for, an Indian context. So you have to be very careful of these elements, and they can be very misleading, confusing, and it's a bit slippery also, because what happens is we tend to extrapolate a lot out of what we are seeing online or what we are seeing in a meme, and then we try to very quickly associate and attribute that to other people and other people's writings, and that doesn't work out really well. It's quite dangerous actually. So what would be recommended in this kind of a scenario, of course, is always for a person to undergo proper training. It's better to master one cuisine before going on to fusion food. Once you have the base correct, the foundation solid, then you can always go on exploring. So when it comes to students who are training with us, we generally always recommend that they start exploring online material or books outside after their level 2, which is the intermediate level, because by then they have developed a good filter, they have their own discretion skills, and they're able to discuss amongst themselves also what something means when they come across it, right? So take it with a pinch of salt. Next time you see something online or in a book, it's not necessarily going to be true for you just because you write that way. There's always a host of elements that are at play. It's a lot of combinations. Please keep that in mind. So yeah, until next time, keep sending us your questions and we'll see you soon. Bye.